What is good, you guys? This is Steven with AllTalkOn, and today we're going to do a little bit of a fail on something that had happened earlier, and as well as a little bit of an update on upcoming things that are going to be on the channel. So first things first, we'll get into our little bit of a fail. So if you guys remember, I had a Cooler Master 212 Evo that did not fit in my BitPhoenix Comrade computer case that I had purchased. So if you guys remember, I had shaved it down. See, they're all shaved down, the tips. So that did not work. Did not work at all. Don't do it. If you guys remember me saying in the video, I don't care about this cooler. I had one to replace it anyways. I was thinking about water cooling it, but because this was on sale for 30 bucks, I decided to pick it up, and because I thought it would look really cool. It's a tower cooler with the bigger cooler on the motherboard. It actually looked a lot cooler than having just your standard all-in-one water cooler on it. So I wanted to go with this, but I didn't really care about this, and I decided that if I wanted to make it fit, I would need to cut at it. Not a good idea. These vapor chambers need to be sealed. I tried resealing them, but without proper, they have these little welders for copper and stuff to basically weld these shut. It wasn't going to work out well, and the temperatures on this were getting pretty crazy. I couldn't even get the computer to idle without overheating. So it made a huge drastic change in temperatures, which is funny because these pipes look like they close up at the bottom. But either way, I'm pretty sure that I ruined this cooler by doing that. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah, so don't do that. If you guys notice, I did take the video down because I didn't want people doing the same thing. For me, like I said, I didn't care. But I don't want someone else doing it because they would think it would work and it doesn't work. So, I mean, if you want to go ahead and try, maybe you can successfully cut these and reseal them. I'm hoping that would be all it needs. I don't think that these have anything inside of them, but if they did, like any type of vapor or something inside of these, that's something you'd have to look into replacing. I didn't really do any research on it, honestly. I just know that from what I did, which was basically clamp the holes shut, and they're pretty much completely shut again after sawing them off. That did not work, and like I said, I didn't want anyone mimicking it and ruining their cooler by accident. So I did take the video down, but I am letting you guys know that didn't work, and I had already replaced the cooler with a water cooler, which honestly is actually a better thing than what it had before, because she lives in Colorado, and apparently Colorado doesn't have AC units in a lot of their houses and apartments, which I didn't know. During the summer, her house can hit 80 degrees, which is pretty dang hot, at least for me. I keep my AC running during the summer. I do live in Vegas, so trust me, I know what hot is. I know what the desert feels like. Arizona's pretty hot too, and even parts of California. So I do know what hot is. I live in the middle of the desert. Um, and We all have air conditioners. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's by law we have to have an air conditioner in a house in order for it to be considered habitable in Vegas. But in Colorado, it doesn't get too hot, so they don't necessarily need them. But she's told me her house has gotten up to 85 degrees inside, which is pretty warm, especially when you have a graphics card kicking off a lot of heat inside of that case, as well as the CPU and motherboard. You're looking at some pretty high temps inside, so I thought it'd be best to put a water cooler in it anyways. But yeah, fail. Don't do it. Don't cut this. Leave it how it is. If it doesn't fit in your case, get a different case or get a different cooler. Don't cut it. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about upcoming things on the channel. So I do have a little bit of a video I want to get started on hopefully soon. I just ordered the graphics card. I need to order a few more things. So behind me, as you guys can see, I have it. Craigslist i3 computer. So inside this computer, we have a LEPA MXF1 350 watt power supply. No efficiency. Honestly, I didn't really trust it when I had first bought it. It was only 20 bucks, and that's the reason I bought it. I was like, might as well see what it's like for $20. And it works out good. I've not had any issues from it. It pulls just fine. No shortages, no burning parts, nothing. I didn't hook this up to a good computer when I first grabbed it, though. I mean, I hooked it up to like some bare bones crappy computer that ran off like DDR2, all parts that I didn't care about, some crappy random graphics card, and it worked out just fine. So that was basically the test to make sure it works. I have it hooked up to the i3 now. It works just fine. I've had a graphics card in there. No problems at all. So as far as LEPA goes, they're kind of gaining my trust with this being one of their extremely low-end power supplies, and it being able to handle it well. So we have our LEPA 350 watt. We have a MSI B85G43 motherboard. Yeah, it does its job. It has SATA 6, USB 3.0, as well as supports, fourth generation Haswells and stuff. So that's always very nice. We have a fourth gen, obviously, i3 in there, 4130 at 3.4 gigs. So nothing special, but it is a hyper-threaded dual core, so it gets the job done once again. And as far as putting this thing up against the Pentium G, surprisingly enough, this thing does get a frame boost in games like GTA 5 and stuff. This thing will hold an average of about 5 to 10 frames per second more than the Pentium G will. Even if the Pentium G was overclocked like 4.6, 4.7, this was still doing it just fine. It was outperforming it, like I said, by about 5 to 10 frames on average. I would say average maybe about 7 or 8, but there were a lot of times where this thing would shoot up to 20 frames over the Pentium G. So that's a plus that the i3 is actually outscoring the Pentium G, which I would expect because it costs more. But at the same time, they are both dual core, so I didn't really expect it to go that much more, especially with the Pentium G being able to overclock so high and pushing its speed up so much. So I was kind of expecting it to either completely keep up or slightly beat the i3, but that was not the case. This thing kind of murdered the Pentium G 3258. As for RAM, we have 4 gigs of Kingston DDR3, 1600 memory. Now I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to be picking up 8 gigs. Sorry about that. I got a cough on. We have some aftermarket cooler that was probably like $10, $15. It's like a G-Lid cooler. It's basically like the stock cooler. It just doesn't look as lame. So it was in there when I bought it. We have a 2 terabyte hard drive, and then we have an SSD in there as well. So obviously, you guys, I've already gone through this build in my i7 thing, but that's not what I'm looking to do. I'm going to be doing a PC build. A budget PC build like I always do, except for once I'm not going to do the whole fantasy, what could I put together for this price. I'm literally going to build one, and I'm going to tell you guys what you could pay for it, and then I'm going to tell you guys what I paid for it. Now, I do have to give you guys a little bit of a hint. Actually, I'm going to be completely giving it away. It's not really a hint. I got an R9 270 coming in for this by MSI as well, so it's going to be all MSI. And I'll be putting it together. I'm probably going to pick up a different case because I don't like this case. So those are things that are going to add to the price. But as of right now, if I just kept 4 gigs of RAM, didn't switch out the case, and got the graphics card, it's a $170 computer, plus $20 for the power supply. That is under $200 computer that can play GTA 5 at 1080p high settings at 60 frames per second. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say 45 frames per second at high settings. So I mean that's pretty damn good if you ask me. That's for under $300 I'm able to do that. Of course, the price for you guys if you want to buy everything brand new is going to be a little bit higher than that because this is an i3. They're not necessarily cheap. 8 gigs of RAM isn't really cheap. It's cheaper than it was 3 months ago, but it's still kind of pricey. Sorry, my throat was super dry for some reason. But anyways, I mean, it does have an SSD in it, which is also going to lift the price up a little more. I did a little bit of a price, and it's probably going to be about a $400 to $500 build, which isn't too bad. It's definitely your beginner budget, mid-range PC, gaming PC that you could do. So overall, we're going to get started on that as soon as I start getting the parts for it. I'm going to basically do a video on it so you guys will be able to watch it. I'll go through my part selection completely. I'll go through what I paid for it. I'll go through what you guys could pay for it, and then I'm going to go through, if you want it all brand new, what you will pay for it. Because if you buy things used, which I have actually been doing for quite some time, believe it or not, I've been doing it a lot more recently than usual. For some reason, I do it a lot more now. But like I've probably bought like 5 graphics cards now that were all pre-used, and haven't had an issue with them. I don't really care to buy RAM pre-used, but I mean this RAM's pre-used and it works just fine. Or hard drives and SSDs, but if you guys saw the video, you know that I picked it up because it was kind of all of an inclusive deal and it was really cheap, so I said might as well take it all. So I'm going to be building this PC. Like I said, I'm going to make a full video, not on how to build it, but all the parts that I chose, and pricing and stuff like that and what I paid, and to show you guys that you can get into PC gaming if you really want to for super, super cheap, which is extremely nice. Obviously, codename Bubblegum was a way overpriced computer. My computer's way overpriced. My brother's computer's not, believe it or not. The Pentium G 270X Thermaltake one, that one was actually well under $500 and performs extremely well. This will be well under $500 and perform extremely well. And my girlfriend's computer, the codename Bubblegum, that thing was well over what it should have cost and performs moderate for the price. Kind of sad, but to be fair, that computer had a lot of custom work on it. In fact, let me find it for you guys. So right here, bam, custom backplate. So I told you guys I was looking to make a backplate for this, which I'd actually already started to cut the acrylic, and I ended up finding this guy on eBay. So I was like, you know what? He laser cuts backplates. Let me see what he can do. So this backplate that I have right here, sadly, does not fit the graphics card. I've already messaged him and we've talked it out over a course of like 20 emails. He wasn't like fighting me trying to not get me my stuff, but he was just kind of trying to make sure he doesn't send me the wrong one again. Now, this is for an MSI R9270X twin frozer. Honestly, all MSI twin frozers look alike. They don't differ in size. I have two 270Xs by MSI and then a 270 by MSI, so I know they don't differ in size. These are just way too thin, and like width-wise, this to there, way too small, and length-wise, it's about 1.5 inches in both directions. Inch too short, and not long enough either. So he said he's going to work on it, but as you guys can see, we have our custom lollipop chainsaw cut as well as the MSI. So what he does with these is they're two separate back plates. Now he can color code them for you if you'd like. I told him not to color code them because I was going to paint them myself, because I want to make sure the paint matches. I want to make sure I use my paint, you know, the one that I got, so that way I know the colors will match perfectly with everything else on the computer. So he cut it out. See, there's the cutout. So what I was going to do is paint one blue, paint one black, and or pink. Top one's going to be pink, bottom one's going to be blue, so the blue would show through. And then he gave me the cutout that he actually did for me as well, which is cut out of the GPU thing. If you guys saw, it was inside there, and I popped it out. So he gave me this, so I could paint this, you know, blue and stick it in there, but then it'd be a nice, cool looking 3D effect. But I was actually thinking to use this for like a case badge and get rid of that Bit Phoenix case badge and use this instead. So as we can see, he's got some really good cuts. They're very detailed. I'm very happy with the purchase. It cost me a total of $40, and he had to ship it from the UK, which cost $15. So yeah, it's not too bad. I think it was 45 or something. But like I said, because he sent me the wrong size, he's going to be sending me another one. So that build is on hold for this. Literally, I'm just waiting for the backplate, and then I'm done with it and I get to ship it off. So we'll see how that goes, and I'll give you guys updates on that. But for now, I mean, like I said, you guys, that's a really cool backplate for this GPU, and it's going to be, full custom system. Now, I will say this thing is really thick when there's two of these together. He gives you double-sided tape, by the way. You can have it two separate ways. You can have the screws go through both cards, both plates, and then to the back plate, and then, stick it on that way. Or you can have what I chose, which was the screws go through the first plate. This goes on, and then he gives you some really thin double-sided tape that tapes these two together, so that way you don't have no screw holes. As you guys can see, there's no screw holes, and it's a way of covering up the screws. You can choose from either one, whichever one you like better. But he is a eBay seller, and he does a really good job, and he's keeping me happy by, like I said, he's going to make me a whole new backplate and send it. To be fair, if he didn't, I'd be filing a claim on eBay and going after him for my money, because what am I going to do with a backplate that literally doesn't fit any graphics cards I own? I don't know what graphics card he cut this for. He doesn't even know what he cut it for, because this is way too tiny. He even told me, he's like, I don't know how I got it that small. But either way, that's going to be coming in. So once I get that, that's more custom, and that's why that PC was way overpriced, is all the custom things, from the sleeving to the paint to the hell, I don't even know. Making sure I buy parts that are right colors. That can make prices go up a lot, believe it or not. Say something's $10 cheaper, then the part that you want is $10 more. It's only $10 more for whatever reason, but because it's the right color, you need to pay that $10 for it. Yeah, stuff like that kept happening. As well as, not to mention, it's got a 2 terabyte hard drive and SSD, 270X, 500 watt power supply, and an 8320, and a nice Asus motherboard. So I mean, the computer's kind of hooked up, so it's fairly decent. It's not an i7, but it'll get the job done. She does slight video editing. So, but anyways, you guys, that's my update. So stay tuned for my actual real life IR. I don't know why I'm holding a plug. IR build. I'm like looking my 2 monitors, webcams on this one, and my videos on this one. So if you guys see me looking over, I'm looking at myself being an idiot. So anyways, that's going to be happening soon. Like I said, it's going to be awesome because I'm actually going to be able to sit here and be like, dude, I bought, for my budget build, I did this, and then I have this right here. And then I'll be able to show benchmarks at the end of it on how the system's actually going to perform. Instead of just saying, yeah, dude, it'll run Minecraft. Now I can actually show you what it can do. So we're going to get started on that budget build. Like I said, it'll be coming out hopefully within the next 2 weeks. Without any shipping issues. But yeah, you guys stay tuned. Check that out. Anyways, this is Steven with AllTalkOn, and I'll catch you guys later.